What's going on, you guys? So check it right. Enough time has passed, and I think it's time that we speak on the new album that Wordz just dropped, titled Mark My Words. Now, just hearing the title, you can tell that he had a point to prove with us as the audience. And in my opinion, I think he did manage to achieve that. I mean, Wordz is a guy that's always been a part of a collective, but since venturing into a more solo career, his albums felt more like statements, almost like this is his way of telling us that his skills and capabilities are more than enough to compete with the niggas at the top. And this body of work is just another example of him doing so. Now, the album does consist of 13 tracks with production from Mash, Physique, Zaki, Nico, Bigger Beats, Yolophonic, and a few other individuals. Now, because Wordz decided to incorporate different individuals when it comes to the production, instead of just utilizing Mash on his own, while we had Wordz venturing into various sounds which allowed him to express different versions of himself. I mean, for instance, on a record like Talk To Me, which features Chico and Una Rams, we hear Wordz get into his lover boy bag where he sounds confused, wondering how his girl developed the feeling of being into him, only for her to end up leaving him in the end. We hear him express his vulnerability in Tonga, which was surprising, because we usually hear Wordz either rap in English or Spitori, but hearing him embrace his Tonga side was nice, even though I didn't fully understand everything he was saying. But either way, it was a nice track and something different, because this was more of an Afro-pop type record, which we don't really hear Wordz dabble in, but I like the execution. Now, another record which is quite similar when it comes to the sonics as well as the content is Amashroni, and it features Blue Papi, K-Kid, and Una Rams. Now, everyone delivered on this record, but I was mostly impressed by Blue Papi. I mean, he delivered a soulful chorus which was almost reminiscent of Sjav, if I'm being honest. I mean, with the production having that Afro-pop feel to it, his vocals perfectly complemented the record, so he was definitely a standout moment for me on the project. Now, when it comes to Wordz, while he pretty much touched on how he misses his girl and how the thought of losing her actually haunts him, he also speaks on how he's acquired fame in his life, which in turn means that his girl might need to adjust to his new lifestyle. And I'm sure that's something most artists can relate to, especially the ones who do reach some level of prominence after grinding during their come up. But anyways, as I said earlier, Wordz expressed different versions of himself. And on some of the other records, it felt like he was getting back to his roots from the TWC days, where we would often hear him trap out. I mean, we all remember Death Before Dishonor, where we got tracks like Dead on Arrival and Black China. While that's what he seemingly did on quite a few of these records, I mean, Fresher Than Y'all is one example where the beat just felt like it was smacking you every time it dropped. I mean, I tested the record with my car speakers, and it's safe to say that I need new speakers. But anyways, Wordz is pretty much on his braggadocious level, talking about how he makes his swag look easy, how he has shoe boxes touching the ceiling, and essentially that he's just fresher than us. But besides that, he also speaks on his new lifestyle and how it's not the same as it once was, when he says the following: call it a law, first bag we make, we close in the mall, we be involved, thought he was broke, he ain't broke anymore, heard they were walking, they ain't walk anymore, Converse I'm rocking is probably couture, took me to spots where they opened the door. So the nigga is definitely embracing his new lifestyle, and you know what? How can you hate on a young black brother bettering his life or situation? But anyways, the next two records with Nico in the Cut and Play are two of my favorite tracks from the album. I mean, it's hard to deny their replay value, mainly because they sound like bangers in my opinion. The production on both still had that trap element with the 808s knocking in the background. But despite that, my appreciation from the records come from how Wordz decided to approach them. I mean, on Nico in the Cut, Wordz didn't really say anything that stood out. It was just him having fun on the record, and I couldn't help but get that nostalgic feel from the early 2000s in terms of how hip-hop sounded in the US. I mean, for instance, the hook sounds like something an artist from that era would have been rapping. I don't know, but I just think of 50 when I hear that hook. But overall, the record is fine in my opinion, and I just like the way the production matched the tone of how Wordz approached the song. Now with Play, well, as I said earlier, it's another standout for me. I mean, the aggressive energy that Wordz presented, mixed in with those hard-hitting 808s, just felt like he was on demon time with anyone who tries to play with his name, because as we all know, he's trying to be more brand friendly with the intention of running up his bag. He pretty much doesn't have time for niggas who intend on messing around, since he has serious plans for his career, which is understandable. I mean, what's the point of chasing your dreams if it doesn't eventually help you attain a certain level of success financially? Now, with all that said, right, I want us to get to the meat and potatoes of the album. I'm talking about the tracks where we hear the self-introspection, or I guess the inner workings of his mindset, so we understand the things that he's been dealing with internally and externally. So first up, we have Gang Faith, where Wordz expresses a confident, reflective perspective on success, purpose, and authenticity. He embraces his destiny, seeing his journey as divinely guided and rooted in strength of his upbringing and community. He also contrasts material wealth with true value, emphasizing loyalty, humility, growth over flashy displays. I mean, the message is clear. While others may only dream, he's actively turning dreams into reality through hard work and consistency. He acknowledges both internal struggles and external pressures, yet remains grounded by the support of his people and a pure intent behind his craft, where ultimately he's focused on making meaningful impact, staying true to himself, and building something lasting regardless of outside opinions. Now, next up, we have Pricey, where we hear Wordz reflect on his growing fame and the pressures that come with it. He highlights how people are increasingly curious about him, trying to understand who he is, connect with his friends, and insert themselves into his life, often through mediums like social media. Now, despite external expectations and temptations, he remains grounded and refuses to let success or money change who he is. He also acknowledges the passing of time and the importance of family, especially his aging mother, while distancing himself from those who claim to know him but weren't genuine in the past. So pretty much the message in the song centers on staying true to oneself, staying focused on personal growth, and recognizing the cost of success, both financial and emotional. Now, with Giddy Born, Wordz captures a journey of growth, resilience, and spiritual grounding. He reflects on emotional struggles, staying focused despite internal battles and societal stagnation. He trusts in divine purpose, acknowledging that his rise is part of something bigger. There's pride in staying authentic and keeping imposters out of the culture, whilst also recognizing how far he's come from childhood dreams and humble beginnings to financial success and a deeper relationship with faith. He emphasizes providing for loved ones, especially his mother, and sees love and loyalty as long-term commitments. Overall, the song is about rising above limitations, staying grounded in values, and turning past hardships into motivation for continued elevation. Now, with the closing track titled Thank You, we have Wordz serve a powerful statement of gratitude, growth, and artistic affirmation. He reflects on his evolution from humble beginnings and underground sounds to mastering jazz-infused rap with commercial weight. He balances a laid-back demeanor with sharp intent, making it clear that his success is calculated, not accidental. I mean, there's a tone of quiet confidence as he reclaims his space in the industry, pushes creative boundaries, and dismisses materialism in favor of inner brilliance. He acknowledges past doubts with these lines: "Album of the year, I was taught I couldn't say that," and then frames his achievements as a testament to persistence and integrity, with references to legacy, big plans, and staying grounded in his roots. The song acts as a final note of appreciation, thanking both supporters and experiences that shaped him, while signaling that his journey is far from over. So definitely a powerful record to close off the album. Now, with all that said, the album is really good in my opinion. It really is a rap album of the year contender. Let me say that again for the niggas at the back who struggle with listening. Yes, I'm doubling down. It is a contender. And if you feel differently, cool. That's just your opinion. You won't see me crying over it. But Wordz delivered in every aspect. I mean, he definitely sounds more confident and content with his body of work. Plus, the replay value only reinforces that feeling. So a big shout out definitely goes out to him. But with that said, you guys let me know your thoughts on this. Are you feeling Mark My Words or nah? And if so, which tracks are your favorites? Comment down below. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to hit that like button if you found the content dope, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's on to the next one. Peace.